Hello. Hi, welcome to this week's Take 10 with Spa PR. And today we're very excited to have Anna Cari Gund, Managing Director for Raison, and also which is a spa consultant and also a think tank for wellness. So very relevant in today's world. Anna Cari also used to be, for many years, was president of Cedesco International and is also an international examiner of sort of beauty and spa therapy. So we're very much looking forward to hearing what she's got to say about the industry and also to identify some of the trends we might look forward to. So I see that Anna Cari is there, so I'm just going to go live. She should be with us shortly. She'll be great. She's joined. So, hi.
Hi, Raison.
Oh, hello. Lovely to see you. Haven't seen you for ages.
You're right. It was a long time, but
no.
Lovely to see you. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this.
Oh, no, it's lovely. It's really good. It's nice to have a catch up, actually. I've just had all sorts of things going on here, the police at the door and everything in the last sort of 10 minutes. So I know, I said, I've got to do my Instagram live. I have to go.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's great. But hopefully it all worked out.
Yes, no, it was fine. It was an incident down the road. But yeah, nothing normally happens like that in our area. So yeah, very, very unusual, thankfully. So yes, I was just saying a little bit about your background, but oh dear, now the phone's going. You've been involved in the beauty and wellness industry for many years. So it'd be really good to hear about your journey and what, sort of attracted you to the industry in the first place.
Yes, I guess I actually have a degree in chemistry and did that and started working in a laboratory. But a friend of mine, when we went out, she actually had joined a beauty and spa therapy course in Stockholm. I lived close to the Norwegian border back then in a small village, and I thought this is exciting. I guess what attracted me was, of course, the practical part, but also that, anything that has to do with spa and beauty has always been my hobby and what I love to do. And I think I also saw the opportunity to get into products, ingredients, all the chemical side of it all. So I thought it was a good way of combining it all. Yeah. But it turned out to be that I really loved the practical work. So I worked as a therapist for many years, also had my own salon. And from there, I've also then, of course, with my background, started teaching. We lived in England for 5 years. And when we came back, I got the opportunity to both teach practical subjects as well as, of course, chemistry, physics and everything at a beauty therapy school. And from there it took off with education. I got involved with the Cedesco section in Sweden. And step by step I got more involved. And then, of course, also ending up as vice president for 8 years and then president for another 7. So I usually, when I do my Cedesco exams all over the world, and I do the speech at the end, I tell the story, because of course this is a profession where you never know how far you can get, and I think I can say that I'm a perfect example.
Yeah, no, well, I know. I mean, as you know, I've met lots of the Cedesco members, and it's incredible how you can have such a long and rewarding career in beauty and, you know, spa therapy, you know, with some ladies working well into their 90s, which is just incredible, isn't it? Yeah,
It is, definitely.
it's really good. So with Cedesco, so obviously as president and examiner, you know, your role has been trying to maintain and improve standards within the industry. What do you feel is the biggest challenge, you know, sort of going forward, or the biggest challenges that you've faced over the years in trying to maintain those standards?
I mean, I shouldn't sound negative, but I'm sure everyone knows what I mean. It's all about not cutting corners. There's no, I mean, you can't keep standards if you don't invest in education, invest in your staff, invest in professional development, making sure that it's maintained. And I mean, it's a software and a hardware education. You have to continue to keep everyone engaged and keeping the purpose of why you're actually doing this education for someone, to make sure that you keep the standards. For the future, of course, I think health, safety, hygiene, all of that has also to be part, a very big part of the education, making sure that the candidates and students that you have also feel that they can trust the school or the environment where they are training, as well as the clients that, of course, these candidates will work on in the future. So we are looking at a different world. But by becoming Cedesco and by having the Cedesco diploma and studying towards becoming a Cedesco diplomat, it is the highest level we can see now of the standards and quality within the beauty therapy profession. And I know with the board and with everyone that is working with it now that they have the same passion. It's just that we continue to have the people with the passion on board in Cedesco, and that's gonna be instrumental to keeping the standards.
Yeah. And do you feel there are any countries doing this better than others, or are we all about the same?
I wouldn't say. I mean, every exam that happens in any country, there is a very thorough report sent back by the examiner, where there's shortcomings or where there can be improvements, and of course also positive feedback. But I would say, if I would put something out there, definitely Ireland is doing an amazing job. They have so many candidates, so many students. There is a huge part of the Cedesco, and also I would say also the Scandinavian countries, Japan as well. They are also a huge part of this. But everyone is doing a good job, but there's a very thorough report going back, so it's kept on a very high level.
That's great. Yeah. So moving on to Raison d'etre. So Raison d'etre develops the wellness concepts for businesses, not just for spas, but for all types of businesses. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? What that means?
We've just finalized the project in the Nomad district in New York. And it's all about everything from the work environment, where air, sound, the material that the office is actually built, fabrics, wood, flooring, everything, the lighting, everything is according to different frequencies, etc. And of course, chemical free, to make sure that you impact the body as little as possible. In these environments, you also bring in, for example, biophilic elements, meaning that you have plants, you try to take the nature in, and especially in a city environment like New York. Because of course we know, and there's scientific evidence, that we work better, we feel better if we have that element in our environment. There can also be biohacks, easy ones, like there's maybe a meditation pod, you can have a frequency studio, to make sure that stress and anything that affects the body from the outside is kind of put in balance. Other biohacks could be food and beverage that have nutrition, so you eat raw food. You have different areas of maybe biohacks, just like bulletproof coffee. I think everyone should Google that, which is a simple way of boosting the body.
Oh,
so
really?
Looking at the body, and make the work environment and office building or residence work together with the body and not the opposite. And of course, when it comes to residence or hotels, all of that is so important as well when it comes to sleep, brain health and everything. So I think we're looking at more technology, but at the same time technology that works alongside the body, making you be the best of yourself.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, we can tell now that the whole workplace wellness is only going to get bigger, isn't it? And, and recent times have brought that, even made it even clearer to us, that companies and, any sort of venue or operation that has members of the public in needs to actually be looking after, the sort of well-being of them as well. So, looks like you're in the right field for growth there.
I think so, and I think it will, the spa and wellness industry will recover, but it will be slightly different. We need to take care of people a bit more, and in maybe a slightly different way, but I'm pretty sure that it will grow immensely once it's
absolutely. I think one of the good things to come out of it is that it's requiring operators now to be much more personal, with the guests, so, and that can only be a good thing, to find out more about their individual requirements and tailor programs to that. So, so I think that's a good sort of move forward really for the industry. So as far as I know, with Raison d'Etre, so you have the wellness sort of concept side. And then you also have your think tank, which is that's okay. I've had one.
Sorry.
That's okay. So your think tank.
We're busy working as well. Sorry.
That's okay. No, don't worry. I mean, my phone just went. It's hard to take out everything else around you. But the wellness think tank that you have, which is very much involved in research on trends and, to the benefits of new innovations in the future. Are there any that have recently been discovered that you feel could, just be interesting for us to know about, new trends or innovations?
Definitely. I mean, we are looking very much, but it was even before the COVID-19 started to hit us, we were discussing mental wellness, because we know, of course, in every generation now, there is a problem with stress, there is a problem with anxiety. We're always online, we're always connected to some kind of device, and we all know that it's not good for us. It affects our brain, it affects our immune system, and it affects our sleep. So all of that needs to be considered. But of course, with the COVID-19, it's come up even more. I think also people had time to pause and think what's important for them. Maybe we don't anymore even consider risking on a plane to have a 2-hour meeting in Dubai, for example. I think we will work differently. But I still think that we need to pick this up with the mental wellness. It is really concerning.
Yes.
That brings us to, I would say, brain health, which is extremely important and which we can actually work with. Also in a level where there's probably not so much need of a therapist. If we're now talking of having a little bit of making treatments without with a distance, with distance from each other, where we can actually work with frequencies. I mentioned it before as well, that frequencies in the body, in the brain, the alpha, the beta, and the different levels, that we actually can work with that quite a lot. We also, of course, talk about the three brains, which I'm sure you will hear more about, especially coming from us here at Raison. We're talking about, of course, the brain, the heart, and the gut.
Yeah.
That they actually are extremely connected, and how we can work on that. And that also, of course, applies to mental wellness. A lot of research have been done how we actually can work on these three brains for us to keep healthy. And of course, immune boosting, anything that's immune boosting now is where we need to go, because we know now that anyone that has been affected with the COVID-19, if they've been healthy, they've come out in a better way.
Yeah.
So anything that has to do with exercise, regular exercise, what we eat, how we recover, and I would say then with nature, making sure that we connect to someone that is something that's authentic.
Yeah.
I think that's something that our think tank will work much more on.
Lovely. Oh, well, we look forward to hearing more on that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And I know the other day when you were interviewed by Mark at European Spa, you mentioned about sensory deprivation, where you actually deprive the senses of any of those, sensory elements, and then you let them sort of free. And the result is like a huge, well, I don't know what the result is, but I can imagine it's almost like not overwhelming, but, it must be an incredible experience.
Yeah. And that makes a treatment as well so much more than a treatment. It's more an experience.
Absolutely.
And making sure that we're blocking everything out before we start the treatment, and awakening the senses afterwards.
Okay, well, we'll have to develop that for an article for European Spa magazine, because I think lots of people would like to know more about that. So you're based in Sweden, and obviously the Nordic countries are known for their happiness and wellness anyway, so you've always led in that field. Is there anything the rest of the world can learn from you? What do you think you have, can share with us that we could benefit from?
Yes, I think making sure that everyone say that we're kind of the happiest people in the world. I think you should look at it what the expectations are. I think our expectations are kind of not lower, but we are content with there's an expression called Lagom. It's a Swedish expression, and it's a Swedish word. It's hard to translate, but it's kind of not too much and not too little, just right. And I think, we're not running around happy all the time. Of course we can't. It would be chasing something because you have your days when you're not. But when it's dark and it's pitch dark, today it's a really miserable, rainy autumn day.
Oh, same here.
Yeah. This is what I have. I can't change that. Why should I try to? So, I'm content with that. I put some rain gear on. I don't get wet, so I'm fine. And I think just having that kind of mentality makes it easier for us. And then when someone asks if we're happy, we say yes.
Yeah.
Because it's lowering that expectation that it's not 100% all the time, but we're fine.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that also, of course, comes with anything we do. That we, if I ask my mother to give me a piece of cake, and I said, how much would you like? And I said Lagom. It will probably be not a big size, not a small one, but just
right. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, we're going to use Lagom a lot now. It's going to be in my new words.
Yeah.
So finally, what, obviously living in Sweden, what do you personally do to live well, apart from, you know, just sort of managing your expectations?
Yes. I mean, living well is about doing everything, I think, within the normal work life and everything, trying to get that balance. In Raison, we've always had a very open way of balancing work and private life. It's been even more emphasized now, of course, because we can work from home. But I mean, fitness routines, I walk to work, I bicycle to work, I get that exercise, eat healthy. I, of course, enjoy sweets and treats, but it doesn't have to be all the time. And just having that balance, I think that's I also think that it doesn't have to be extreme. It can be a diet, but at the same time to make sure that you you treat yourself, because that's what it's all about, and that, with everything in moderation. And I think that's pretty much what we do, and Swedish people, I think, also with the different changes in the seasons that we have, that we make sure that we enjoy all of it, making sure that we go out even if it's bad weather. It's just about dressing right.
Yes, absolutely. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothes or something like that.
And in Swedish it actually rhymes, but it doesn't. Yes.
Oh, does it?
So I think that's mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Anna Cari. That's been really interesting and really lovely to see you and speak to you properly as well.
Yeah. We will make sure to up even more. And before we go, I really want to thank you and the Spa Pia company for the support over the years, because I think a really great relationship we've had and we continue to have.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Anna Cari. No, we value it highly and really enjoy, you know, being at the heart of wellness with you. So yeah, let's go on and conquer.
We should, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have a lovely day, rest of the day. And yeah, we'll speak soon.
Yeah, good. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. And tune in next week when we'll be back again with our Take 10 series. Okay. Bye.